everyone, my name is Brittany. Welcome back to my channel, and today you're going to be watching a vlog of me reading Home Before Dark by Riley Sager.
It's Brittany, bitch.
This book has been on my library TBR since January, so it's been like 6 months, and I've been waiting for this very patiently. And it was this book that was released last year, and it has been like the longest library wait ever because I also waited last year before I left for New Mexico, also for 6 months. So technically I've been waiting for this book for like a fucking year. I don't really know too much about it other than the fact that it seems almost like a Haunting of Hill House story where like a book was written about this like young girl and her family's experience living in this house that was haunted, and then her father wrote the book and she's well known for the whole story, and apparently it was built on a lie and it isn't actually haunted, or so she says. So I'm really interested to see like how this goes. I also just want to point out I love the cover. It is perfectly spooky. This is due back to the library in like 3 days and I need to finish it immediately, but I've had other books going on that took way too long, so I only have like 3 days to actually read this. So I'm really hoping it's good and it's quick because it's almost 400 pages. It's like 380 pages, which still isn't too long. It's still like a pretty normal average book length, and especially since this is a thriller, I'm especially hoping that it's a very fast, easy, spooky read. It does seem a little bit like The Haunting of Hill House, and I know other people compare it to that as well, and I absolutely love that show. It was fantastically done. So I'm really hoping that it does live up to my expectations, but I'm also trying not to put too many expectations on it because I really love some of his books, and I gave, I think it was The Last of My Light, I gave that 4 stars. I really loved the ending on that, but I also gave Lock Every Door 2 stars. So I really go in between for him. Like, he has kind of a large range of ratings for me, so I'm not really sure what to expect with this one, and I'm hoping it's good because I'm looking for an excellent thriller, and I would love to recommend this because I feel like it is very similar to The Haunting of Hill House and what it seems like, and that is such a fantastic show that I want to be able to like recommend a book version of that. I know there is an actual book called The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson, but a lot of people said it's actually like way less interesting than the show itself. So if I can find a book that's more like the show, I'd recommend that instead, I guess. Never read the book, so I couldn't tell you. So we're following Maggie Holt, and she is the daughter of the man who wrote the book that made their whole family famous for this one house. And her father died, so now she's getting the estate, which is AKA the house. And I don't really know much past that, so I'm really hoping that this is good, and we're just gonna go into it with as little of expectations as possible. I'm really trying here, but I'm hoping it's good. Send me some good vibes, okay? Good morning. It is Sunday morning and we're deciding to make breakfast because we literally never do it. We have so much like breakfast food, and we're really trying to actually go through all of our food we have in our freezer and our pantry because we have family visiting in a couple of weeks, and it's kind of like that extra nudge we needed to actually use a lot of the stuff that we have. I had some bad bananas, so I'm making some banana bread muffins with chocolate chips, and I want to try out that ube like mochi mix from Trader Joe's that makes pancakes or waffles. So we're gonna make some pancakes, and I have some chorizo we've had frozen forever, so we're gonna make chorizo and eggs, and then we're roasting those potatoes, which are also been in the freezer forever. So we're really just trying to go through absolutely everything that we have. We have some sausage in the freezer, and there's like a latte mix I got from my grandma. So we're gonna try to use a bunch of this stuff up this morning, which we never do. We usually go out for like a bagel and like coffee. Like, that's usually our routine. We just go out and like get a bagel, or Taco Bell has their breakfast back. Love their breakfast crunch wraps. Their sausage ones are like god tier if they're made correctly and not like the hash brown is not burnt inside, because that is when it is not good. But that's what we're doing this morning. My brother's going out getting some more eggs and milk because I just realized like when we were looking through our supplies, we don't have enough eggs to actually make chorizo and eggs. There's 3 eggs between both of us and a giant ass thing of chorizo. Like, if you look, it's defrosting, but it's quite large. This is a lot of chorizo. We may not be able to even eat all of it. I might have to save a little bit of it, but at least it'll be like in a smaller container. Like, that's my goal. And there's my tulips I have to go put in my flower vase. So when he gets back, we're gonna start cooking, but I'm kind of prepping everything now. Preheating the oven for the potatoes, and I'm mixing up the banana bread stuff and then pouring it into the containers and trying to get everything as ready as I can at the time that he comes back. So let's get started. So we have our sausage linguiça and eggs and the roasted potatoes and onions. We got some cranberry juice. We got those caramel frappes or whatever the hell they're called, but they're hot. And then we have my excellent banana nut muffins. But you see what's not here is those disgusting ube pancakes because they were fucking sick. They literally tasted like buttered rice, like salty buttered rice that was supposed to be sweet. It was fucking sick, and we're never doing it again. So thank you, Trader Joe's, for the opportunity, but I regret to inform you that they were disgusting. So it is the next day, and I've got a lot of stuff done today. I've been very productive. I did a lot of good work at work. I washed and made my bed. I have laundry going. I'm cleaning my bathroom, and I'm also gonna be making Rice Krispie treats. And I personally love Rice Krispie treats. Why can I not say that? Rice Krispie treats. Okay, I have some extra Rice Krispie treat cereal, and I decided to get some marshmallows, and we're gonna make some treats. So I have to return this tomorrow to the library, and I'm only like 126 pages into this, which is not very far in terms of the book. It's, if you can see, I have that big other, like mostly half, and I'm just not really sure how I feel about this. It's not that interesting. It just feels kind of overdone. It's basically a haunted house thing, but it's nothing like new. And it really just feels kind of like a ripoff of Hill House. Like honestly, it feels like a ripoff of The Haunting of Hill House. And I think like the comparisons could be good, but also I've only been like kind of spooked once. Like one time I was like, ugh, you know, it's a little gross. But otherwise it's not like doing anything for me, and I really don't care about the character. But then again, like, but every now and then like 20 pages will just fly by, and then I feel like I just kind of get like dragged on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of maybe having pacing issues for me. I don't know, but I really like that we're going between the dad's book and then our current present timeline of Maggie going back to the house basically to figure out what actually happened when she was a child. And that's an interesting concept, you know, going back to like figure out what's like real, what's not real, but I'm just not like totally feeling it yet. Maybe I just have to like get farther into it. I know a lot of people say like the last 100 pages are like freaking fire, so that's what I'm hoping for with this. But I mean, so far it's fine. It's all right, but I'm also kind of worried I'm not going to make my timeline of tomorrow because I obviously cannot extend this anymore. I've already waited for this for 6 months. It's on hold for other people. I cannot renew this. I did try, and I cannot renew it. So I have to finish it by tomorrow and almost exactly like 24 hours from now. Because usually after work, that's when I go to the library and return stuff, because it takes like a good like 15, 20 minutes just to go one way to the library because it's only a one-way road. So it just depends on traffic and stuff. So I need to finish this in almost exactly 24 hours from now. Is that possible? I really hope so. In the interim, I'm gonna go make some Rice Krispie treats, and I'm going to finish cleaning my bathroom, and we're also gonna have pesto chicken pasta for dinner, and that's what we have going on the docket today. Good morning. I have to return home before dark today, so I need to finish it. We'll see how that goes. I'm only about halfway into it, so I have to somehow finish half the book today before like 4 p.m. Say hi to everybody, Kalinka. Oh. Okay. All right. Oh no. Do not want to be on camera this morning. I'm spending the morning with mommy. So far it's actually getting a lot better, by the way. I feel like in the beginning it was very Hill House-ish, and now it's kind of coming into its own a little bit, but it's still like not the most tantalizing book, but it's definitely a lot better than some of his other books that I just did not enjoy, like Final Girl. So it's definitely a lot better than that. I think it's probably give me like a good like at least 3 or 4 stars, what I'm hoping. Are you done? I got some Starbucks this morning. Oh shit, that's strong. And I also got some egg bites. I usually don't eat in the morning, but I was starving, so I got the, you know, the white, I think it's the egg whites and roasted red peppers or something. I don't know. I really like these, and they're really good. And they're not terrible for you, so I'll take it. It's been very busy at work, so I'm hoping that I can get the reading completed, but like sometimes if I have a really bad work day, I don't read on my lunch. So I'm hoping that work is like as chill as I can get it. I know there's a lot of stuff going on today, but that would help me out a lot if I could actually at least read on my lunch and hopefully at least get like 40 or 50 pages in like a good half an hour. But also the only time I have for lunch today is exactly a half an hour in between meetings, like exactly. And I think I was going to cook something for lunch today because I don't have anything like ready. So that's gonna take up part of my lunch time to obviously cook my meal, which would take up at least 15 minutes. So I don't know how that's gonna work out yet, but I'm definitely a little bit nervous. I'm not gonna finish the book. Like I'm just really nervous about it. So I don't know what's gonna happen yet. I will keep you updated on the progress. Yes. Okay, so I ended up finishing Home Before Dark, and I actually finished it in the library parking lot for like 40 minutes, and because I had to return it, right? Say hi, Kalinka. Anyway, I actually ended up really enjoying this. I think I'm gonna give it like around a 4-star, and I just wasn't expecting it. Like the beginning was kind of like a little bit of a Haunting of Hill House like ripoff, and then towards the end it got really good and really interesting, and people were not lying when they said the last 100 pages were something else. The last 100 pages were actually really good, and all right. I really, don't you come back to me. Stop being naughty. Don't you whip your head around at me. There were a few things that I would have liked to explain that to me were not explained well enough, but I feel like overall it was pretty good. And I'm really trying to think if Home Before Dark or The Last Time I Lied is actually my favorite book of his. I don't really know. I feel like The Last Time I Lied just gives me like summer vibes, and this gives me like fall vibes. So I just don't know if like depending on the season which one I'd prefer or what, but I think Home Before Dark was actually pretty good. I was pretty surprised actually. I really was expecting not to like it, especially because like halfway through I was just kind of like, I wasn't ready to DNF it, but I was just kind of a little bit bored, and like I felt like it was pretty cliche, and it is really cliche. Like I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely a lot of cliches in this, like a lot, but I also do not like that there is an unreliable narrator in The Last Time I Lied. So they're kind of at the same spot right now. I'm not really sure which one's gonna win, but Home Before Dark I definitely would recommend. I thought it was probably one of his best books for sure. I love the cover. It's creepy, it's spooky, it's a perfect Halloween fall vibe, especially if you like The Haunting of Hill House. I think you're really gonna like this. I would 110% recommend this if you like that show. I think it is, in a way, a version of it that is just a little bit different from the original, but there's a lot of good twists and turns at the end that you're really not expecting. You're like, oh, here's one twist, and he's like, here's another 4. And you're like, oh shit, was that the ending? And that's exactly how it was. There are definitely a lot of snakes in this book, by the way, so as a big trigger, if you do not like snakes, do not read this book. There are a lot of snakes towards the end, and it was a pretty gross scene, and especially if you are afraid of snakes in any way, shape, or form, I would not actually recommend this, and that is the biggest trigger I can find in here, and it is it's awful. So please don't read it if you don't like the little snakies. Definitely would worry about that. But I feel like a lot of the jump scares and stuff just like they weren't very good at building suspense. I really just wanted to know a couple of things that happened throughout the book. So it didn't really make me scared or like have a horrified feeling. There was never any point where I was like worried or scared or fearful. So I think it was actually pretty tame in my personal opinion. I also feel like all of like the scares were like super cliche, but it's also because I read a lot of horror and I watch a lot of horror, so nothing really surprises me as much anymore. I did like that the one song that keeps like repeating is from The Sound of Music, because I could literally hear the song every single time I see it written on the page. I think that part was done really well and it was kind of fun, but overall this is a really great horror book. I think if you're looking for actual horror, you're not gonna get it, but I think it's more of a thriller, like trying to like a familiar thriller mixed with a little bit of like horror elements, like a haunted house thing. So there you go. Thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, join the tribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.